All right, we're at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 209,815 miles on the odometer. It's March 16th, 2024. There's beautiful Linda, and I am Cole. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show, also known as the Cole Spivey channel. Linda's got water in her ear. 2 days ago, water went in her ear. If you're taking notes or writing biographies on the channel, you can make note of that. All right, so it's a rainy day. It's been kind of raining off and on. I've got a weather bug app that will tell me real-time lightning strikes if they're, you know, close by. But no reports yet right now. Looks like this is the traffic at about 2:34 p.m. or 2:35. All right, headed off to do our business. So Linda said I used 205 sheets of toilet paper.
Yes.
Counting the sheets.
Yes.
Which I
that roll is 320 sheets.
I did not use that.
Yes, you did. You used.
Well, maybe I did.
You used at least 3/4 of it.
Use it to wipe stuff like around the, you know, the kitchen, or put it.
That was a brand new roll this morning.
She'll like to get your sheets in the
okay, whatever.
Set it down, to put a toothbrush on. So we go through a lot of toilet paper.
You grabbed the new one when you were in there because it's too high.
Anyway, we might go by a Walmart
it's
to
a
look
typical
at
male
pricing.
thing. I had to roll it around their hand like 20 times.
We gotta go to Walmart and look at pricing on toilet paper. So. I don't know where they put the pricing on gas. All right. There are 230 calories. You get 8 grams of fat, but sugar-wise, you're only getting like really just 1 gram of sugar. And they're actually really tasty. It shows right here 1 gram of sugar, 20 grams of protein. And they do, and the new ones, this is the older one, but the newer ones have caffeine in them. They actually put caffeine in them. Great for breakfast. You don't want to like live on soy. You don't want too much soy, but every once in a while they're pretty good if you want to grab a breakfast. Vitamin wise, they're not really packed in vitamin. You're mostly getting them for the soy protein, low sugar, and maybe a little bit of fat. Yeah, you're getting no vitamin D, no calcium, no iron, but you are getting phosphorus and potassium. So a little bit of potassium. Some of the other bars, like that Met RX bars, are a little bit better.
And when I left, it said drive safe.
Man, it's really raining. All right, now we go pick up Linda's drink, and then we're gonna head out because we're cutting time. here's everything right here. And we're gonna go ahead and snap out.
My type of friends. Pizza and beer.
Yeah, okay, alright. Yeah, whatever. You can just watch a blog on YouTube. Does that have information on it? I didn't see that.
No, her phone number's on it.
Alright, just in case you're on a major, or an English major, this is water ponding. It means water amounting in the road. It's on the roadway or slow down for water ponding.
Well, it's $1 each. It's hard to find the off-brand of a kitty cat. I guess he wanted some peas.
Alright, it's probably the second part of the vlog. 209, 827 miles on the odometer. Still March 16th, and we're headed out pretty much for delivery. Rain, snow, ice, shine, regardless. Alright, we have to get closer to downtown, and we're going to go ahead and jet away from that. Looks like it's a back-to-back traffic. Yeah, I got to watch out for my carriage. I got to dodge ponding. I can't get into water ponding. My plastic undercarriage will be pushed down, and I'll be scraping it if I don't watch out. Which is going to be crazy because I'm taking kind of an alternate route. I think what's south and what's north. I'm going to try to be going north to try to get around all this craziness, which probably, who knows, they got the whole thing just completely shut off right there. And that's probably going either under the bridge. What exactly is being shut down, I don't know. But if it's because of the water ponding under that bridge, that one can be bad. I've vlogged it before because we had to turn around, and it was right over here. We had to completely turn all the way around. What in the world? And go the reverse way one time, but it looks like that's probably an accident. It could have been from ponding though. Alright, we're gonna head down this way and spin around and go through another area, because no telling how bad that's gonna be. And this is some of the route anyway. Alright, there's the C-130, known as Fat Albert. Hercules. It's a retired aircraft. All right, first one is 526.3, 1 point. All right, we're gonna see what we got. So we're gonna zero that out for today. That was roughly today. Zero that out. They're reconstructing or repurposing the Fort Worth educational building for teachers, I guess. I don't know. No go-karts today. Very rarely do they run go-karts in this kind of weather. But we will be passing the Trinity River in just a moment. Yeah, it looks pretty high. A lot of water fell down in a matter of seconds. You can see no go-karts. All or mini golf. No mini golf either. At least they got umbrellas. They'd be dedicated mini golfers. All right, next one's 548, 17, 6.2. So I watched another good one last night on YouTube, Bridge of Spies, a Spielberg movie. I actually liked it. I didn't think I was going to like it. I had no idea what it was about. It's actually about a lawyer. Tom Hanks plays a lawyer during, I don't know the exact time, but I know that it was during the Cold War and when the Berlin Wall was first being constructed. I'll have to go back and get the exact times later, but it's good, yeah. So they catch a Cold War spy coming out of Russia. He had already come to America. He was an older guy that was a painter. He was like an artist, so it was a good cover. And supposedly he was getting information. So back then, if you got caught being a Russian spy within the country, it was sure death sentence. But Tom Hanks plays this lawyer. It defends him as a private citizen and defends him, and he only gets 30 years in prison. But what ends up happening is at the time, there was major spying going on both sides. So some pilots, American pilots that were part of the CIA, were hired to fly over Russia and take all these photos, and one got shot down. And because he got shot down, he got captured. I think his name was, it has like a FR in it, like Fraser. So I think it's based on the true story. It might be. And then there was also a student that was studying economics on the other side of the Berlin Wall and had gone on to the east side of the Berlin Wall when it was actually being constructed. And when he came back, the wall was already finished. So they stopped him, or that section of Berlin was already over to Russia. I mean, Russia had claimed sovereignty on East Berlin, which they call the Alsace, and captured him. So they had 2 American prisoners. I did fall asleep towards the end of it, but when I woke back up, Hank's character had already secured the trade-off, the exchange between, I think it was between the American pilot that worked for the CIA that got shot down, and maybe even the student that was studying economics, or he was studying like European economics, and traded him for the Russian spy who was an older guy. I think his name was Abel. I think his last name was Abel, or something like that. Anyway, it was really good. I liked it. It was pretty good. It does have a really cool sequence in it where the American spy plane gets shot down by a missile, and he was to self-destruct the plane as he's going down. So he pushed this timer on where it has a certain amount of time before the plane blows up, so they can't recover the spy plane. He does that, and his oxygen hose, I believe it is, gets stuck. So whenever he ejects, he's stuck to the plane flying down. It's very Mission Impossible. It's like flying down with the plane. He ends up reaching back in there and pulling it out so that he can properly eject with the parachute. But right before he does that, he tries to turn it off to save his own life because he doesn't think the oxygen hose is going to come out in time. So he would definitely blow up and in the air. So, he'd have more time to live if he tries to turn it off. And as he reaches to turn it off, he's released, and then the parachute goes off, and then the plane, I guess, eventually explodes in the sky. And as it explodes in the sky, it starts coming after him, and he's coming down the parachute. It's pretty exciting. It does drag a little bit after that, a few moments, because I did fall asleep. But I did wake back up towards the end. It was pretty good. Pretty good performances. Some unknown actors. It's got the whole Spielberg music in it, that's real commercialized and people like. But, other than that, it's a halfway decent film. It's not one of his best, but it's actually probably a sleeper is what I'm thinking. Probably not one of his big blockbusters. But it was better than I thought it was going to be because I had avoided seeing that. And the next one is, I think, a Post, which was another sleeper that he had done. And then, of course, Fabelmans, which... it's kind of an auteur piece. I'm truly kind of more of a early Spielberg fan, from Jaws to maybe even Schindler's List. But I guess my favorite, I'm kind of a Saving Private Ryan fan. I just like the opening sequence, and it's not too bad of a movie all in all. It does keep you engaged, entertained, and it's it's a World War II pick too, which is kind of his heart and soul. I wonder if, if he did Saving Private Ryan black and white, I wonder if it would have got, better attention. But I know that Schindler's got him, I think, one of his only Oscars, if I'm not mistaken. He's pretty blockbustery. But there was a time whenever he went, more auteur, you would say. That would probably be I consider maybe Jaws and maybe Schindler's as kind of auteur pieces, kind of, even though Jaws became very, commercial, one of the all-time commercial films. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm always a fan of Robert Shaw, and back then you didn't have that kind of acting, and you have Richard Dreyfuss, of course, is great in it, and the other guy that was in All That Jazz, Robert something Schreider or something Schreider. I always get his name mixed up. I don't know if he's passed away. He was in All That Jazz, Bob Fosse, and I'm just not getting his name right now for some reason. Schreider or something. Anyway, they were all really good in it. Yeah, it's not too bad, the Bridge of Spies thing. Actually, I think it's actually a really important film, because the reason why is because it shows back then how the country was. Of course, the spies, they did kill spies. There was a death sentence. There was some spies that were executed. I think they were like a married couple that were executed. I think this is based on a true story, but the thing that makes it good is that governments see on one side the soldier as being a hero, right? So in their land, in American land, you're heroic. You get rewarded, you get extra money, you get medals, all whatever, But on the enemy side, you're completely the enemy, and you could easily be killed. So it shows that fine line, between borders and countries and spying. It's about espionage, and it's pretty interesting. The opening sequence is pretty cool, too, because it's set in Brooklyn in the opening sequence. The lawyer was from Brooklyn. But it deals in also the respect for the enemy in a way, because I thought that guy probably should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor or whatever. I don't know if he was. He might have been for Bridge of Spies. But he was really good. He was kind of nonchalant about his possible death sentence. And he never took the offer to work for the American government. So he was, you know, what they did was when they captured him, that was the Abel character, they said, well, you can work for us and we'll pay you. And you'll survive. You won't be sentenced. You'll just work for the American government. He turned that down with possible death sentence. So, and another thing that's good about it too, it's never clear that he's actually a spy. The lawyer actually thinks he's just an artist, which I thought was interesting. It's a very interesting thing. Meaning Tom Hanks' character just thinks he's basically just an artist, which he's very, he could have been, but how it's shown is that he is, because he gets this like nickel or something that's underneath this park bench and takes it home and then opens it up and it's got like this message inside of it. And he must have known it was there. So from the point of view of the director, the filmmaker, he actually was a spy. But the character, which is played by Hanks, thought he was just an artist, And it's showing the lawyer and how he's to jealously represent the client. It's more of kind of a courtroom drama. It could have easily been a courtroom drama, but it's not necessarily a courtroom drama. But it deals with that whole John Grisham kind of aspect of, the lawyer respecting the client and defending the client as a private citizen, not necessarily work. There's a line in there where he says, I don't work for the government. He doesn't work for the United States government. He's a private citizen. And that's also why they actually end up hiring him. The government hires him to do the negotiation with Russia for the exchange. And now this stuff is going on right now. This kind of stuff is going on right now, or it was going on. I don't know. It's probably still going on, but there was an exchange that was given from the Russian captured, or there was of course the Russian spy, and then the American CIA person that was captured by the Russians, and then of course the student that was captured by the Russians in East Berlin that was controlled by Russia. So it was like they could do an exchange, and in that exchange, everyone kind of won, kind of thing, and that stuff's been in the media today and is going on, and because there's been people accused of espionage who were just like reporters, and you see that aspect of it because like the student was just a student. He had this huge, thesis that was like a book-sized thesis on European economics. They saw that as espionage. They could see really anything as espionage if you look at it. I mean, they could. But you see that these two, the CIA pilot is not exactly as heroic as a student, because for one thing, we don't know if he self-destructed, he was still alive, but he was captured, and he also was a soldier. So it was like the respect among soldiers is in there too, because he says, I think Hanks represents the Russian spy and says, well, look, he didn't take a plea deal with us. He chose to possibly face the death penalty. And that's maybe a reason why they gave him 30 years. And then he ended up getting exchanged. So he ended up getting his freedom and going back to his wife in East Berlin. He had a wife in East Berlin, the Russian spy. He ended up being reunited. So he stayed true to his cause, even though, he was, possibly spying. It's a pretty interesting film. The guy was pretty intelligent, or he wouldn't have been a spy in the first place.